Hi students, I am Praveen Sebastian Paul. In this lecture, we are discussing the advantages and disadvantages of rapid application development. So as we had discussed in the previous lecture, the RAD is a set of tools and techniques that can be used to build application faster than typically possible with a traditional method. The term is often conjunction with the software prototyping. The RAD encourages the incremental development approach of grow, do not build software model. The major pros and cons of rapid application development is discussing in this lecture. In modern information technology environment, many systems are now built using some degree of rapid application development. In addition to Martin's method, Agile method and the rational unified process are often used for RAD development. The purported advantages of RAD includes the following. First of all, it offers better quality. By having user interaction with evolving prototypes, the business functionality from a RAD project can be often be much higher than the achieved with a waterfall model. The software can be more usable and has a better chance to focus on business problems that are critical to end user rather than technical problems of interest to developers. However, this excludes other categories of what are usually known as non-functional requirements, including security and portability. Secondly, the risk control. Although much of the literature on RAD focuses on speed and user involvement, a critical feature of RAD done correctly is risk mitigation. It's worth remembering that Baum initially characterized the spiral model as a risk-based approach. A RAD approach can focus in early on the key risk factors and adjust to them based on empirical evidence collected in the early part of the process. Example, the complexity of prototyping some of the most complex part of the system. Thirdly, more projects are completed on time and within budget. By focusing on development of incremental unit, the chance for catastrophic failures that have dodged large waterfall project is reduced. In the waterfall model, it is common to come to realization after 6 months or more of analysis and development that requirement a radical rethinking of the entire system. With RAD, this kind of information can be discovered and acted upon early in the process. So my dear students, these are the advantages of RAD model, rapid application development model. Nextly, we are discussing what are the disadvantages or cons of this model. The major disadvantages of RAD includes, first of all, the risk of a new approach. For most IT shops, RAD was a new approach that required experimental professionals to rethink the way they worked. Humans are virtually always averse to changes, and any project undertaken with a new tool or method will be more likely to fail the first time simply due to the requirement of the team to learn. So this is the first disadvantage of this model. Secondly, the lack of emphasis on new functional requirements, which are often not visible to the end user in normal operation. Thirdly, it requires time of scarce resources. One thing virtually all approach to RAD have in common is that there is much more interaction throughout the entire life cycle between users and developers. In the waterfall model, the users would define requirements and then mostly go away as developers created the system. The RAD users are involved from the beginning and through virtually the entire project. This requires that the business is willing to invest the time of application domain experts. The paradox is that the better the expert, the more they are familiar with the domain, the more they are required to actually run the business and it may be difficult to convince their supervisors to invest their time. Without such commitments, RAD projects will not succeed. The next disadvantage is less control. One of the advantages of RAD is that it provides a flexible, adaptable process. The ideal is to be able to adapt quickly to both the problems and opportunities. There is an inevitable trade-off between flexibility and control. More of one means less of the other. If a project values control more than the agility, RAD is not appropriate. Another disadvantage is a poor design. The focus on prototypes can be taken too far in some cases, resulting in a hack and the test methodology where developers are constantly making minor changes to individual components and ignoring system architecture issues that could result in a better overall design. This can especially be an issue for the methodologies such as Martin's that focus so heavily on the user interface of the system. And last one is a lack of scalability. RAD typically focuses on small to medium-sized project teams. The other issues cited above, that is less design and control, present special challenges when using a RAD approach for very large-scale systems. So my dear students, these are the advantages and disadvantages of this rapid application development RAD approach. So my dear students, hope you had understood this topic. So dear students, kindly go through the assignment question. The assignment question is, write about the pros and cons of rapid application development. So my dear students, in the upcoming lecture we are discussing the patterns and frameworks in the software environment. So see you soon. Until then, goodbye, thank you, and all the best.